Hi, and welcome to our second Zoom business training on our pipes. So this week we are looking at the I of pipes, and that is our inviting. So I'm just going to screen share and put you through to my PowerPoint so that we can go through and talk about our pipes. So I'll share. Hopefully this is going to work for me. Okay, share screen. Okay, here we go. So PowerPoint here. Fabulous. So today we're looking at our I for inviting. So hopefully you've gone away during the last week and you've managed to have a look at your goals, have a look at your plans and your strategies. You've set up the personal development that you're going to be doing and you're working forward. So today we're looking at inviting. So inviting is really important because inviting is all about talking to people. So what are we inviting them to? We're inviting them to one-on-ones. So inviting people to talk to us about doTERRA and about the doTERRA products. We're inviting people to classes. So we're also inviting people to learn at the workshops and at the classes all about the oils. And we're inviting people to learn more. So there's lots of different ways that we can invite, and some of them are more effective than others. So how do we invite people? In person, face-to-face is the best way that we can invite anybody. So when we invite people in person, face-to-face, they can hear the excitement in our voice. They can see our facial expressions, they can see our body language, and they're more likely to buy in and to connect with us, because this is all about connection marketing. It's not just network marketing, it's connection marketing. We're about making connections with people. So in person, face-to-face is the best way to go. Personalized written invites are also a really good idea. This doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can go to the $2 shop, the reject shop, whatever you've got, and just get a pad of 30 generic invites that you can use to invite people. You find if people have got something that they're going to put up on their fridge at home, once again, they're going to remember that they've been invited, and you're more likely to get people coming along. So I find in-person, face-to-face, and actually having personalised written invites that you can use to invite people makes for really successful inviting. Following that, if we can't do in-person, face-to-face, the next best bet is the phone call. Because once again, people can listen to your voice. They can hear your excitement, they can hear the inflection in your voice. And you've got, once again, an audience on the other end of the line. You know you're talking to someone and you're getting feedback. So phone call is the next best. If you can't invite face-to-face, then pick up the phone and have a talk to someone. A lot of people are scared of picking up the phone and talking to people. To start with, most of the people you're talking to, you know. So you talk to them about anything else. Why not talk to them about something that's going to change their lives? Why not talk to them about something that's going to help them have a better life? And also, what's the worst they can say? The worst they're going to say is no. And we all know that no means not now. Doesn't mean no forever. It just means I'm not ready for this right now. And when someone says no to you, they're actually giving you a gift. When someone says to you, no, I'm not ready for this right now, they're actually giving you a gift and saying, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to stuff you around. I'm going to give you the gift of time to let you go and work with the next person who may be interested. So don't be afraid of the no's. Next best bet is text. So this works for some people just don't do phone calls. These are going down in decreasing order of how effective they are. Text is definitely a mechanism that we can use, and it's a way a lot of people communicate these days. In our fast-paced world where we just try and get bites of time where we've got them, texts can be a way of communication. We can use them to invite, just recognise they're not going to be the most effective way to invite anybody. Then we get personal Facebook messages. So once again, these are another way that we can invite people. We're now, even though we're sending it personal to one person and we're personalising it for them, it's now getting a lot easier to ignore. And if you're anything like me, I get many, many, many Facebook messages every single day. And it's quite easy just to ignore them. So yes, you can use it, but if you do use a Facebook message, then if you haven't heard back from the person, follow them up. Follow them up with a personalised phone call and try and connect with them that way, because this is what you want to do, is you want to connect with people to invite them. Never, ever, ever send a group message on Facebook. It's the biggest way to get no one turning up at your classes. A couple of reasons for that. First thing is, when you send a group Facebook message, so you send one Facebook message to lots of people, what happens is every time someone responds, it goes ping, 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 and people just get sick of it and it annoys them, especially if you've got more than 3 or 4 people on there and you've got people responding. It's going to get frustrating and you don't want to get people offside before you start. But the other thing is, it can breed negativity. So if you get one person on there saying, "No, I'm not coming, I'm busy," then the next person goes, "Oh, if they're not going, maybe I won't go either." So if you're going to use Facebook messages, do individual, personalised Facebook messages. Don't do a group Facebook message. And Facebook events. Now, these have got their place. However, a Facebook event's place is not for inviting. A Facebook event's place is not for inviting. Simple reason is, everyone gets invited to so many different things. So we use Facebook events to invite people and they're just going to ignore it. I ignore 90% of the Facebook events that I get. We can use them though for a reminder. So when someone's already said yes that they'll go, we can use this as a reminder. We can use them to share information. So it's really effective to set up a Facebook event, invite the people who you have physically invited, and then share some tidbits of information before your class. So for example, if I'm doing a class on children, I might share a few bits of information in the week before on different oils that I use for children, just to give people a taster of what they might expect. We're not doing a full workshop on there for this, but we're giving people a taster, giving them some information, giving them something to say, "Oh, I want to learn more about that." So that's where it can be really good to share information and to create interest as well. The, "Oh, I want to learn more" interest, but not for inviting. Use your other methods for your inviting. Use your Facebook for your follow-up and your reminder. And in terms of reminders, it's a really, really good idea. So we've invited some people and we've got some people who are going to turn up to our workshop. So what is a really good idea to do 2 days prior to the workshop is, this is where you can send them a message and you can say, "Hey, really looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night. We're going to have so much fun." Couple of tips with that is, don't send a message saying, "Are you coming on Saturday night?" Because they've already said yes, they're coming. So assume they're going to come. Don't give them an out not to come. So this is just short and sweet. "Hey, really looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night." And it's to remind people, because life gets in the way. We get invited to things and life gets in the way and we forget. So this helps to remind people. And then on the day, so if you're having a workshop on Saturday night and you've made some lovely bliss balls or something like that. Then if the
Just some biscuit, baby.
are on Facebook, then send them on Facebook. Put up a picture of your bliss balls you've made. Hey, look at this really yummy treat I've made for us to share tonight. Or if the people you've invited them are on text messages, send them a text at that stage with a photo of the food that you've made. So a photo of your bliss balls. Look at this really yummy food I've made for us tonight. It acts as another reminder, but also, if we are making food for our workshops and we've gone out of our way, when we tell people that we've done that and that we've gone out of our way to do something for them special for that night, once again, they're more likely to turn up. So they're all just little tips for helping to get the most bums on seats at a workshop. Because a really interesting statistics is for all the people that we invite, if we talk to 50 people, then it's likely that 25 will say yes. Of those 25 that say yes, probably about 15 of them will actually turn up on the day. And then of those 15 that actually turn up on the day, about 50% of them will enroll and get their oils. So we want to make our numbers as high as possible by inviting in a good way, by reminding people, by following up to get the greatest likelihood of getting the most people turn up for our workshops, so that we can then introduce them to the concept of how the oils are going to be amazing for them. And then, so we've talked to a warm market, and we've talked, so our warm market is the people we know, the people who we are friends with, it's kids are friends with at school, it's our family, it's our friends, it's the people that we know well. But what happens when we've talked to them? How do we invite now? We've talked to the people we get along really well with, they've all got their oils, it's fabulous. What now? My biggest tip is use the oils everywhere. Wear your oils every day. Do your aromatic dressing.
Use it.
Put your oils on before you go out somewhere. Smell beautiful so that when you sit down in that cafe, someone comes up to you and says, oh my gosh, you smell amazing. What's that? And then once again, it opens that conversation. So wear your oils every day. Use them in front of people. Now this sort of can sound a bit silly, but if you're going out to a cafe and you've got a glass of water, get out your bottle of lime, put a drop of lime in your water, give it a mix, have a drink. You don't have to say anything. People who you're with will be going, oh my gosh, what's that? Once again, you've started the conversation. I often will use my oils on the bus, on the train, at cafes, when I'm picking the kids up from school. I'll get them out and I'll use them in front of other people. I don't say a word. I just get them out and use them. And I leave it up to them to then open that conversation. And it's a really good way of opening that conversation. But the really important thing then is have samples on you that you can give. So carry samples of those oils that you're using, the oils you're going to use in front of people. Carry samples of things like your lemons, your limes. Carry samples of things that people around you are likely to want to use, such as lavender for stress and relaxation, your easy air for people who can't breathe, your ice blue for people who are in pain. Get the little sample vials, and we can get them from the Aussie essential oil business is the best place to get them. They're cheap, you can get them in bulk, and have some in your bag so that you can actually give them to people. Take their details. So where you can give someone a business card, it's actually more effective not to. If you give someone a business card, you're relying on them to get back to you. So what is a lot more effective is when you hand someone a sample saying, So you might be standing beside someone who's coughing and spluttering, and you offer them some On Guard to help with their immunity and help them get over their cold. You might be standing in the supermarket line and you happen to have some samples in your bag. And you say to them, would you be open to me contacting you in a couple of days to see how you go? And that's a really, really powerful way to do it, is by using that statement, would you be open to? Because you're seeking their permission to follow up. You're seeking their permission to see how they go. And you know whether they're serious then, as to whether they're actually going to use these oils. Would they be open to you giving them a call in a couple of days to see how they go? Yeah, sure, fine. Okay, can I just grab your name and number and I'll give you a call in a couple of days and I'll see how you go. So reinforcing the fact that you're going to follow up and you're going to get back to them. And then guess what you do? You put it in your diary and you give them a call in a couple of days. Because the worst thing you can do right now is not get back to them. You've given them a sample. You've asked them if you can get back to them. You need to get back to them. And just pick up the phone and say, hey, it's Kirsten here. We met in the supermarket the other day and I gave you the sample of the On Guard to use for your cold. How did you go with that? What did you think? And it opens up the conversation. Yeah, I really like that. It really seemed to help me get over it a lot quicker. Oh, that's fabulous. I'm so glad to hear that. Would you be open to learning a bit more about essential oils and how they can help you? Yeah, that sounds fabulous. Great. I've got a workshop coming up this Saturday at blah, blah, blah. Would you be open to coming along? So the whole way through the conversation, it's the whole permission-based questioning. At any time they can say no. And once again, we remember that that no is a gift. And it's not no forever, it's just not now. So always take their details so that you can get back to them. And just as a side note, that's why it's also really, really important to always have your workshops set up in your diary. And have a couple of workshops ahead set up in your diary, so that when you are following people up and you say, would you be open to learning more, you've straight away got a couple of dates that you can invite them to. Rather than saying, are you open to learning more, and then having to, on the spot, set up some workshops. So always have those couple of days in your diary. And make sure you do the follow-ups. So another really, really good way is in Australia and in New Zealand, when we meet someone for the first time, or when we meet someone who we haven't seen for a long time, you can almost guarantee that within the first 2 minutes, the question comes up, so what do you do? Or, so what are you doing these days? How do you answer? What are you doing these days? This is where you need to think of something short and concise about what you do. And so we're listening to this because we want to build an essential oils business. So what we don't say is, oh, I'm a chiropractic and I'm working at blah, blah, blah. Because we haven't got essential oils in the conversation at all there, have we? So have a think about what you say. So for me, I don't say, oh, I work at the City of Stirling. I say, I do the most amazing thing. I have so much fun. Oh, what do you do? I help people improve their health and wellness and bring balance to their life using essential oils. Oh, tell me more. And you've opened up the conversation. So as homework, what I want you all to do is I want you to have a think about how you answer when someone says, what do you do? So someone who you've never met before, or someone who you're reconnecting with after a long time, and it comes up in the conversation, so what do you do? What are you doing these days? How are you going to answer that? So as homework, I want you to go away and I want you to have a think about it and practice it. Practice it in front of the mirror. Practice it with your partner. Practice it so that it doesn't sound strange to you as to what you're doing. Because this is what you're doing. This is what we are doing. We're wanting to connect with people. We're wanting to help people. Let's be out there. This is a business. Let's be out there and tell people what we're doing. It's a really, really good way to start conversations.
We do.
Maybe that's not the time.
Just checking out.
So, yep, talked about that one. And then the other thing is always seek out new contacts.
Like yourself.
So by that, go to networking events. And this helps in two ways. It helps to broaden your knowledge. So it's really good to surround yourself with people who've got other skills than what you have. I want to learn more about using social media, and so I'm keeping an eye out for different social media workshops. You might want to learn more about bookkeeping. There's all sorts of different things you might want to learn more about. Go along, but go with the intention of learning for you. Don't go with the intention of doTERRorizing people, but go with the intention of learning for you, because no one likes a doTERRorist. However, what we can do is we can make contacts. We can connect with people. We can talk to people. And it might not be that first contact that we talk about doTERRA, but we're connecting. And often it takes a number of touches and a number of connections before something naturally comes up in the conversation. And it's best to help that connection develop and wait for it to naturally come up. And there's bound to be someone who says, oh, I'm so tired, or I'm feeling really sick today, or my kids are off school again, or oh, I've got a really upset tummy. And so that's when you can say, would you be open to learning what I use to help me when I'm feeling like that? Would you be open to natural alternatives to help you deal with that? When they say yes, then out come the samples. Out comes the invites to the workshops. Uber drivers are fabulous. So whenever I travel, I get Uber everywhere. Because Uber drivers are in their own business, right? They want to make extra money. And so they're really good people to talk to. So when you're out and about, talk to people, but talk to listen. Listen to where they're at. Ask questions to draw them out with what they do, how they're happy with their life, what issues they've got, how's their family, how are their kids, these sorts of things. To listen, not to talk, but to listen and to hear about where they're at, because then we can make those connections and help to solve the issues that they've got. So connect with people all the time. Listen to people, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. So a really good example of this is I was at a training session the other morning with another lovely lady, and we'd been doing our exercising together and we were chatting at the end, and she said, oh, my baby's having lots of problems breathing. It's been really sick, really coughy, got over the cold, but just still really struggling with breathing. And so that's when I said, have you got a diffuser in your home? And she's like, oh, I sort of thought about it, but not thought about it. And then it's, okay, would you be open to looking at some essential oils that you can use to help with your baby's breathing? And so it's just always connecting with people and listening to what they're saying. And then taking the opportunity. I could have just said, oh, that's so sad, your poor baby.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been helping her and I wouldn't have been connecting with her. So connect with people and try to solve the issues that they've got with asking their permission. Social media is another great way that we can use. So when we're looking about social media and we're looking at social media to widen our circle, one of the biggest things is be yourself. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You'll find that when you try to be someone different to who you really are, it shows. People will look at your stuff and it just doesn't feel right. Something just doesn't gel. And often that's because you're not being yourself. when we be ourselves and when we're openly ourselves, we will attract the people who want to be around us. And this is a business we're in for the long term, and these are connections we're making for the long term. This isn't some short sell something, move on, thank you, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This is something that we actually want to make those long-term connections and long-term relationships. So it's really important to be yourself and attract the people who are meant to be around you. Share who you are. Share your successes, but share your failures. Share your good times, but share your bad times. It makes it so much more authentic. It makes you human. People will relate to someone who's authentic and someone who's human. Share your oil stories. So we've all got stories. We've all got things where the oils have really helped us. Share them. When you do, share them compliantly. And there's some really, really good resources. If you go to www.doterra.com, type compliance into the search, and it'll come up with some really good information about what we can share and what we can't share on social media. So we don't want to be going, I love frankincense because it cured my daughter's cancer. That's something we can't say on social media. We can't be curing. We can't be prescribing, but we can talk about how they affect us. So we can talk about how ice blue soothes aches and pains. We can talk about how frankincense helps to reduce feelings of anxiety. So those are things we can talk about. So have a look at your compliance as to what we can and can't talk about, but tell your stories, tell your everyday stories. Tell the story about your daughter who got up in the morning with a really upset, sore tummy, and you rubbed Digest-Zen on the tummy and she felt better. Because it's those everyday stories that connect with people as to how they can use their oils too. Solution-driven content is another really good one. So know your target market. Know who the people are who you want to do business with. Know who the people are who you want to surround yourself with. So if, for example, I want to surround myself with mums, and I want to surround myself with mums who want to spend more time at home with their children. So what are their problems? They may have problems to do with stress. They may have problems to do with busyness. They may have problems with kids being rat bags, kids having tummy aches. Have a think about what their problems are, and then do your social media posts with solutions for those problems. Because then you'll be looking at your target market. So solution-driven content is a lot more effective than just, this is ice blue and it's really good for pain. Rather than, oh my gosh, I woke up this morning and I picked up my daughter and my back went funny and it was really sore. I got out my ice blue oil, rubbed it in, and oh my gosh, it just felt so much better. You're personalizing it. You're actually having more of a solution to an issue, and people are going to buy into the story because people love stories. They love to hear your stories, and especially if your story is helping to solve one of their problems. And it doesn't have to be your story. It can be a friend's story. My friend had this. Is a really good way of telling a story that's not your own. And when we're doing social media, include a call to action. So don't do this amazing post about how awesome ice blue is and it helps so much when you went out dancing the other night and had such sore calves afterwards and ice blue made it all better and you didn't have the soreness that you always have forever, and leave it there. Have a call to action and say, if you too want to try ice blue so that you can go out dancing all night, send me a message. So people know where they can get it. Because you know what they'll do otherwise? They'll go, oh my gosh, that ice blue sounds so cool. I'm going to Google and I'm going to find out where I can get it from. And you know what? If they do that, they'll come up with the doTERRA site, they'll come up with someone like my site, They're not going to come up with your site and get it through you. So it sounds counterintuitive when we think, oh, my friends know where to get it from that I'm doing it. But not everyone who sees the post are going to be your friends. If your friends liked it, their friends will see it, their friends' friends will see it. Make sure they know where to get their oils from. Make sure it's you. Make sure they're not going to go and get them from the person down the road. So in summary, when we're inviting, really important things that we need to remember. Keep it personal. Face-to-face is a really good idea wherever we can. Connect with people. We're not about doterrorizing people. We're about making connections. Talk to people. As simple as it sounds, wherever you go, get used to talking to people. Talk to people you don't know. Have conversations with people and have them to listen. So talk to people not to hear your own voice, but to hear what they've got to say. Use your oils everywhere, both on your body, but also using them in your water, etc., when you go out. So today we've gone through our I for invite, which is part of our pipes. Our pipes are our business money making activities. So we've got prepare, invite, present, enroll, support, which fits in really nicely with our success formula, which is our 2 by 2 by 2 plus 1. So our 2 contacts a day is all about inviting. So that's what we've talked about today. 2 follow-ups a day can be following up people who are going to attend your workshops or following up after your workshops. 2 workshops a week is what we're going to talk about next week when we talk about our P for present. And we're going to talk about how to do an amazing, successful workshop. And then 1 team event a month so that we keep learning and that we keep getting better. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing. So that's what I've got to chat about inviting today. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'll answer any questions.